Hey everyone, today we are going to completely rethink what it means to be a leader. We're diving into Brené Brown's game-changing framework from her book Dare to Lead, and we're doing it with a little help from our friends at Learnerd.org who put together this brilliant summary.
So let's just start right here with this definition, because this changes everything. It's not about your title. It's not about the corner office. According to Brené, if you step up and take responsibility for finding and developing potential in people, in ideas, in projects, guess what? You're a leader. It's a much bigger, more inclusive idea, isn't it?
So, if it's not about authority or where you sit on the org chart, then what is it about? Well, this whole new model of leadership is actually built on a set of skills. And the best part? These aren't personality traits you're born with. They are concrete, practical skills that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn.
And that right there is the key. At the very center of this whole thing are 4 specific skills. And listen to these words. They are 100% teachable, observable, and measurable. This isn't some abstract, fluffy concept. No, this is a real-world roadmap for how to be a more courageous and effective leader.
Okay, so let's pull out that roadmap. Let's take a look at these 4 skills that are the foundation of daring leadership. Here they are. We've got rumbling with vulnerability, living into our values, braving trust, and learning to rise. Now, we're going to hit on all 4 of these, but you have to understand that everything, and I really do mean everything, is built on that very first one, rumbling with vulnerability. It's the bedrock.
All right, let's just dive right into that big one. When you hear the word vulnerability, be honest, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's weakness. But daring leadership demands that we completely reframe that whole idea. So here's the reframe. Vulnerability isn't weakness. In fact, Brené defines it as the most accurate measure of courage. It's that feeling you get when you're stepping into uncertainty, when you're taking a risk, when you're letting yourself be seen. The bottom line is, you just can't get to courage without walking through vulnerability.
And this is where we gotta bust some of the myths we tell ourselves to avoid it, right? We think it's weakness or that we can just choose not to be vulnerable, but her research shows you can't. You either face it or you let fear and anxiety make your decisions for you. And by the way, it's not oversharing your whole life story. It's just the messy, uncomfortable, and absolutely essential core of being brave.
So when we feel that discomfort, our first instinct is to protect ourselves. We put on what she calls armor. You know, this could be perfectionism, it could be cynicism, it could be just staying crazy busy so you don't have to feel. Daring leaders learn to recognize their favorite brand of armor, and they make the conscious choice to take it off.
So let's look at what this actually looks like. Armored leadership is all about being the knower, about always being right. But daring leadership, it shifts the goal from being right to getting it right. And that's a world of difference. It means you have to stay curious and be a learner, not a knower.
Oh, and here's a classic one. Hiding behind cynicism and sarcasm. It's such easy armor to put on, right? It feels safe because it protects you from getting your hopes up. But a daring leader, they step out from behind that shield. They choose to model clarity, kindness, and hope, which of course takes a whole lot more courage.
And wow, this next one, this is gonna hit home for a lot of us. That toxic workplace culture where being burnt out is somehow a badge of honor, that is armored leadership in a nutshell. A daring leader knows that's a dead end. They understand that peak performance is impossible without rest and recovery, and they actually model that for their whole team.
So, once we start to get comfortable with being vulnerable, then the other 3 skills suddenly become possible. Let's take a look at how they all build on that foundation.
So, living into your values sounds great, but it's totally meaningless if you can't actually name them. The process is pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You narrow down a whole list of values to just your top 2, only 2. Then you make them real by defining exactly what behaviors support those values and which ones are slippery. It turns a vague concept into a real guide for how you live.
Next up, trust. We tend to think of trust as this one big monumental thing, but it's not. It's built in the smallest of moments. She uses this amazing analogy of a marble jar. Every time you follow through, every time you hold a confidence, you're adding one marble to the jar. Over time, all those little marbles create a deep well of trust. To make it super practical, there's the Braving Inventory. It's an acronym that breaks trust into 7 pieces. B for boundaries, V for vault. I love that one. It means you don't share things that aren't yours to share. I for integrity. It gives you a specific language to talk about trust. so you can pinpoint exactly what's working and what's not. So you're being vulnerable, you're living your values, building trust. Sounds amazing. But here's the reality. If you are brave enough, often enough, you will fall. It is going to happen. It's inevitable. So this final skill isn't about avoiding failure. It's about getting really, really good at getting back up.
And this is the rising strong process. Step 1 is the reckoning. That's just noticing, whoa, I'm emotionally hooked by something. Step 2 is the rumble. That's where you get really curious about the story you're telling yourself about what just happened, and you challenge it. And finally, step 3 is the revolution. You take what you learned and you write a new, more courageous ending to that story.
Okay, so this is all great stuff to think about, but the whole point is to put it into practice. This is a call to action, and you can start literally right now, today.
So here's your first assignment. Go online and find a list of values. Brené Brown has one on her site. Look through it, circle about 10 or 15 that just feel like you. Then comes the tough part. You have to narrow that list all the way down to just your 2 core values. These 2 become your North Star. Why is this so important? Because of this phrase right here. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind. When you are crystal clear on your values, you can be clear with yourself and with everyone around you. It is honestly one of the kindest and most respectful things you can do as a leader.
And that brings us to the final question I want to leave you with. As you go about your day, think about it. What's your go-to armor? Is it perfectionism, cynicism, the need to always be right? What is the one piece of armor you'll dare to put down today to choose courage over comfort?
Hey, if you found this breakdown helpful and you want to dive into more frameworks like this, you have to check out learner.org. They've got a fantastic library of summaries just like this one, all designed to help you build your skills. Thanks so much for watching.